some success here. Where again, we talk about pressure on certain people's shoulders, one end or the other. I still think Los here has the most on their shoulders riding on this win, because if they don't win this week, that is 0 points. Could be going into that next week.
Gentlemen, our game and lobby are set and ready, as you can see, so we'll throw it over to Dezu and Demo. Have fun.
Thank you very much, Milos. God, they love a good yap on that desk, don't they, Demo?
They do. Also, that saying is going into your gravestone one day. Just that you know.
What saying?
Thank you very much, Milos. That's gone. No matter what, that is going on it.
Yeah, there is no avoiding that, I'm afraid. It does follow me around like a bad smell. Milos smells around like a beautifully smelling one, like a rose. Anyway, we're into game. Here we go. Gym bedroom for our first sight between these two teams. And the double Electro Bros banned away by 9Z. And for Lost, they've gone towards the double Hard Breach ban. I wonder if we're going to see the Habana follow maybe as the third ban there, just to make life real tough for the other side.
Yeah, I mean, Clubhouse, again, just revolves around opening up walls. You've got exterior walls on this map. You've got, a good number of hatches over towards the bottom floor. So, yeah, certainly it's all open up those walls. I kind of feel as though I'm repeating myself to what I said about labs, because I think both these maps are just so similar in what they do. But of course, because you've went for these Hard Breacher bans, you've left some of the shields open, Blackbeard, of course, being one of them, which, as we know, is just insane at the moment. And equally, a shield on the defense, being that clash we've also already mentioned earlier, can be pretty scary. Surprised that we didn't really see much clash coming in from that the bank game that we just had between NIP and Furia.
One of those where more than anything else today, just to kind of focus on what I want to talk about here, is like Joe yesterday was absolutely nuclear for 9Z. Really want to see more out of him today. I was kind of half saying this ironically of like, this is my game of the day. It is because I think the two teams are probably ridiculously close right now.
Yeah, similar.
And this will be, it'll be the kind of game I think that really sets the tone for how the end of the season looks. So I expect the results against other teams to be similar. So it could be these two battling out for a top 6 spot come the end of things. And I think this is the game that will lead to the impact there, even though it is only their second game of the stage.
Yeah. So we are dealing with our gym and bedroom as our first defense, and of course the big issue is getting open these walls, and you can see the mirror window was placed as, and makes it a little bit more scary if you are the lucky one who has to go and place a thermite or a hard breacher gadget on that wall. D4 could just fly straight out that mirror window and kill you stone dead, but thankfully that did not happen for them. So yeah, the Demo's able to stay alive, an operator that you would like to stay alive, Des, whenever he still has 3 of his scans available to use. So at the moment, the main thing for 9Z is keep people alive. Just get the walls open, do all the basics right, keep men alive, keep the utility, and then start looking for that execute.
I think the crazy thing is that although we've seen their bans coming in being against 2 electrification operators, that they've only lent towards having 2 hard breach charges. No hard breacher actually in the lineup overall, which feels really, really confident of them, dare I say. Because imagine if what would happen if we'd seen Naza go down earlier on that Deimos. They'd have no way of getting those walls opened up, and they'd probably be in for a world of hurt, putting themselves into a bit of a corner where trying to fight their way through an Azami and through a mirror becomes really, really hard. And sure enough, it's starting out that way regardless. 3 players falling incredibly quickly here. A nice running from Legacy to make it a 3K in the round. Kurtz to get the last. It felt like Lost at a point where a bit like, you guys going to stand still for long enough, we're going to come and find you. And my God, did they find them.
They've tried to drop into Logi, Des, with just no util to stop the defenders from just swinging the hatch drop. There wasn't any flashbangs, there's no nades. The guy sitting in Gold Vault area, it just, nothing to worry about. As Tim would say, unbothered.
Completely unbothered, swimming in their lane, flourishing. It was more the fact as well that they knew he was there because they tried to send Roteros down through that hatch. He'd shot them out. They're like, okay, we know that a guy is sat here.
Just a Flores drone.
There's no real attempt to deal with him.
Flores drone is not going to clear away somebody just sat in that position. That's not how that works.
No, but more the information, they knew he was there. They saw him. They saw that he shot out the drone. Like, cool, he has to now be moved. And as we saw, that just simply didn't happen. Very weird.
I mean, obviously, that's where you sit there and think, okay, if you're trying to go, force your way through lobby, is that the main way into, the site for you guys? Is through Logi? Because obviously, with just bringing the operator with hard breach gadgets rather than like a thermite, for example, you're limiting yourself, where you can't really say, okay, let's go for a main wall push, because then how do you get through the back from here? And that's not going to work.
Yeah.
So if Logi's your option, where's your Ying, your Grim? Where are the operators who are great as at dealing with players in those positions?
I even hate in general just relying on the hard breach openings, because obviously you vault over, you're locked into that anime. It's so much more risky. You can't really play the game of like swinging around it, for example, being careful about it like you might with a thermite breach. And so it did feel like they were limiting themselves and hamstringing themselves a little bit in the round. It is only the first one though, mind you. Of course, can see things change drastically in round 2. Think back to our first game of the day. It was a very, very wobbly start for W7M. Round 1 was awful. Round 2 was still messy but better. And then by round 3, they were fully warmed up and locked in. So it can get better over time. Give them a couple of rounds, and then we can start passing judgment.
Yeah, and just bear with us as we try and get this technical issue sorted out at the moment. Again, for Loss, obviously a team who are transitioning Dez from playing inside of NAL last year, now back into their home region. I would say I feel sorry for them, because, again, Brazil is a tougher league than what NA has to offer. You know, it's kind of out of the frying pan into the fire almost, Dez, for them.
Quite literally, right? Yeah, we struggled in NA. Let's go to the harder region to really give ourselves a test of courage here. So far, at least, it's not paying off for them entirely. Yesterday was a pretty scary affair, coming up against Fury in your first game, a 7-1 to welcome them back.
Yep.
And I think seeing how today goes will be a big one for them, because, as we said, it's that sort of middle of the pack fight. And in case you're wondering, by the way, like, we have had one player on Lost Disconnect. We were warned earlier on that Storms were on the way over Sao Paulo, and for those that have watched any of the LATAM region before, you'll know that sometimes Storms do tend to knock internet offline for a few players. So that's what we're being mindful of at the moment. Of course, waiting to see if the 5th player comes back pretty soon, but once they do, we'll be able to get ourselves back into things nice and easy. But it does mean for now there's a bit of downtime where we can just keep on having a good old natter.
Yep.
We rolled that word out yesterday. Absolutely, yes.
Chill time. Snooze stop, right?
We told Leo about that word yesterday, natter, by the way.
Uh-huh.
Have you ever used the word natter before?
Not really in my vocabulary, no.
No, fair enough. And he was like, what the hell is a natter? And I was just like,
he doesn't know a lot of
natter.
stuff. The amount of stuff that you've told that poor boy, by the way, and you've told him, I'll go and say this, it's...
The best thing is, he hears us say it, and then he's just like, what is that? I have no idea what that is.
Bless him. And then he'll start saying it all the time.
That's it. My main and favorite Leo moment was we were at an event once, and we were sat down. I want to say we're in the lobby of like a hotel, just like chilling out after a broadcast or whatever. And he was like, I want to know how you discern between like when you're saying these and like those. And because we were sat there, he's looking at like shoes. He was like, when would you say these shoes versus those shoes? And then there was a third term that I forget what it was he said. And we had to try and understand ours, because sometimes you sit down and think about it and you're like, actually, I don't really know the rule ourselves in English. It just like, you just naturally assume it in given situations and use it for what feels right and never really question it. And I was like, I think it's like a proximity and an ownership based things. Like, it was so weird, bless him. And it happens on the regular that we have to tell him about all these wonderful weird words. And I was like, if I ever have to ask you about French, I'm very aware that we will probably ask the stupidest questions, so bear with us.
Well. What else do we want to talk about? Because, again, not much we can say just based on what we've seen. It's only just the one round.
What do you have a natter about, Demo?
I think one thing which I have to say I think is great to see is finally Argentinians are inside this league. Which,
yes,
for the longest time, for years, there used to be a competition called the Copa Elite 6, which was South America's way of choosing the representatives to go on and play at the events. Every single time, it was Brazilian teams being flung in. I believe it was 4 Brazilian teams alongside 2 Mexican teams and also 2 Argentinian teams. Every single time, it was the Brazilian teams. Yes, no matter what, they were the ones who were going in.
Yep.
Mexico and Argentina didn't really get a look in. And now we're at a stage where we actually do have Argentinian players in the league. You know, there's 3 of them. So, just a little thing I like to point out, because it's nice to see it finally come into fruition, the same way that now, you know, Mexico, for example, you know, they're inside NAL, with Cruelty, of course. So, I just think it's nice to see that, you know, the Copa Elite 6 that happened all those years ago, it's, you know, finally made its way onto almost to the mainstream, isn't it?
It is. We were talking about it a bit yesterday, and we were saying, you know, for a lot of orgs these days, you expect them to go and pick up superstars or players from like the more dominant regions. So the fact that we are seeing a chance being given here is really cool to see. But probably also that we saw him play quite well. Like, I know Joe was the standout player yesterday. I believe he's like 4th highest rated in the whole competition right now, which tells you a lot about how well he did. But Nitro's down in like 12th, so he's not miles behind, and he is one of those Argentinian players. And again, it's good to see the support there for one, but also that they can deliver and put the goods up as well when required at the same time. So yeah, I'm feeling quite optimistic about 9Z so far based on how yesterday went. Even if they lost, we're still fine.
Well, I can see that we've got 5 lost players on the screen, Des, so that's can only be a good thing, because there was only 4 last time. So again, we should be underway as quickly as we can, but they're all here, which is good.
It's a case of getting back into game, getting booted up, and ready to roll for sure. I think we go for a rehost in this case either as well. We just keep the lobby up and wait for the player to jump back in, and then we can get started, which is what you can see on the screens of those 2 players in your top left corner. Lobby's still up, waiting for the 5th man to rejoin, and then we can crack on. That's another funny saying now you think about it. Crack on. Why do we say crack on?
Crack an egg?
I mean, huh?
Crack an egg?
Yeah, but why is that associated with like continuing something? We find out. Why do we say crack on? I mean, crack on is to continue doing something as quickly as possible. Phrase is also said to encourage someone to do something or start doing something. That's fine, but where does it come from?
It could originate with like I don't know, people who make stuff, or maybe they break stuff. Couldn't tell you. Ollie's really good for a lot of these weird things, believe it or not.
Yeah, it's not like the nice. I've just googled it. And I think
he knows a lot of useless things.
He does, bless him. He's a man's man,
Yeah.
Ollie is though, big time.
Yeah. There's a lot of useless stuff.
So one thing that someone has like suggested it may have come from, they've always assumed at the very least, it's not guaranteed, this is what they assumed, and it makes quite a lot of sense, is to have originated from those modes of transport in which horsepower is provided by actual horses. So a crack of the whip to force them to move, or to encourage them, should we say, to force them to move faster. And I was like, oh, that's that's reminiscent of a time not so nice. Interesting.
People still use horses as a mode of transport.
They do. More for tourist purposes, though. I don't think you'll really see it used as like an actual mode of transport in most places around the world these days.
The king?
Huh?
The king uses it.
Yeah, but that's like that's more like for like ceremony and show. That's not like he doesn't roll up to Sainsbury's with horse and cart, does he?
Sorry, you think King Charles rolled up the Sainsbury's of all places?
Of course he doesn't. I tell you what, I'd put good money on him having no idea how much a loaf of bread or a pint of milk costs.
What do you think his supermarket of choice is? If you had to choose one.
Ooh, it's Waitrose or M&S, surely.
Ooh, you reckon?
Yeah, what are you thinking?
I know, it could be a Lidl, man. I don't know.
No, don't be silly. Royalty does not shop at Lidl. Let's not be silly now. Nah, he's definitely an Ocado kind of guy. Shops online.
Shops online.
Because let's be honest, if you lived at Buckingham Palace, are you really going to want to leave there often? I mean, it's beautiful.
Delivering to that place would be a nightmare.
Oh, could you imagine the security to try and get in? Sorry, mate, can I check your bags first? Trying to order something like a battery would be impossible. It just wouldn't make it through the gate. Yeah, that'd be a bit of a nuisance. I think we'll be back underway in a minute, by the way.
I think we said that 5 minutes ago. But here we are. As is the way.
Yeah.
I actually haven't had to do it. I haven't had to do a tech filler in a while. I hear a clock.
Oh, me too, which is always a good sign. So as we finish talking about good old King Charles, we're onwards, on we go. Lovely.
I don't like that sound.
No! No! Send in the king. Get the royal guard here. They'll sort it out. Okay, a rehost it is.
Oh dear.
I just want to talk about demo.
I don't know.
Oh, I know one thing we can talk about, actually, because I've been asking a few coaches around it. Obviously, tomorrow is a very interesting day. It's a Monday, and that's not why it's interesting. It's also the first day of EML. And that is the debut for a number of very interesting hot prospects in the region, I think it's fair to say.
Mm-hmm.
We've got Stompin, we've got Wizard, we've got Krex playing. In fact, two of those players, I think it's Krex and Stompin, are playing each other. And then the very next play day, you get another mix-up where of those three players, two more play each other again. So it's really cool that very, very quickly you're going to see a lot of those matchups taking place.
Yeah, you've also got the whole Wild team as well, who have never played.
Yeah.
You've got some of the players from Matchco also.
Yeah.
Other than that, I don't think there's any other newcomers. I mean, you want to talk about the Stompin thing first. Yes, good for him. However, I wouldn't say he's joining the team, which are on top of the world at the moment, which I think is the main worry for him.
There's a lot on his shoulders to come in and be the solution when that is a lot of pressure to put on a rookie's shoulders.
Especially considering the role change that has happened, because they've tried out Uno, who is a hard support, for someone who ain't playing no hard support. So I've heard rumors of Blaz on hard support, and that fills me with a little bit of I don't know about that one.
I don't hate it because, again, talking about a player we've just cast in the game a second ago, Fantasy, like he's been playing a lot of Hibana lately. Like he plays quite a lot of Hard Breach. I don't think it's the end of the world when you have fraggers that can play or are happy to play more supportive roles, at least initially. Doki plays a hell of a lot of Ace, for example. Of course, wants to use it very differently after the Selmas have been used. But I actually like it when teams break away from this standard expectation of there is a support player, there is an entry player, there is this, there is that. I get that being able to refine and sharpen skills in a certain area is very, very valuable, but I think flexibility trumps all.
I get you, I mean, but I also think the way you've mentioned Doki about Ace, Doki and Ace is not good. Whenever Doki starts playing that role, his stats, no, you look at his stats, has suffered massively. That is not his best role, in my opinion. And I'll die on that. I think Doki's just trying to be a people pleaser, whereas he's not playing to his best. Which that should always the way a team should be. It's pick up the 5 best players in their respective roles. Teams and players having to make sacrifices to accommodate others hinders their game, therefore the whole team hinders. You have to have the right people in the right spots.
Yeah, I get what you mean, but I disagree. Because I remember asking Doki about it. I was like, why do you play Ace? And he was like, well, once you use the 3 Salmas, he's got a great gun. He's basically a fragger. Like, you can go and do whatever you want to do then. So you contribute at the start of the round, the team set up and opening walls and whatever else, and then off you go. Have fun. Be the fragger that you're always born to be. Admittedly, for Fantasy, the Hibana play didn't work so well for him yesterday. It was difficult.
In terms of the other pickups, obviously, we've got Wizard and Krex, who both played on a CL team called Good Intentions, and both UK players. For Wizard, going to Fnatic, where Fnatic have chopped and changed how many players since this organization came into Europe?
Quite a good few. Quite a few.
You think, okay, when does it end? Because they're just chopping and changing for fun of it. That's what it feels like. You look at Wolves. No longer French. It's a UK team being picked up from the remnants of the ITB team. And then you're also bringing in people who have went and played afar in the form of Leader and Noodle, who were, of course, involved in GK and Bleed at a point as well. And they had made a change again. They got rid of Oscar. They brought in Krex. Krex ends coming in as an unknown. I know that he is, he's a fragger. And the reason for that change is they felt as though they needed more firepower. But then at the same time, you're replacing Oscar for Krex. Are you only leaving Leader now as the sole support player in that team? Does someone else have to change? There's a lot of questions that go into these changes, and in terms of just how's it going to work, and you won't know until the first play day. Nobody knows, which is why I'm happy I'm on the second play day, Des. So I can answer all those questions. I'll be ready for Tuesday. You look at the Wild team again. What are the expectations for that team coming into it? Team which comes in from CL. Do they have capabilities of going against these big dogs? Again, time will tell.
I always want to kind of temper expectations, and I will definitely upset a lot of people in saying it, of being like, yes, these guys are good. They are also rookies. This is still a big step up. We've seen fantastic play-ups come from Tier 2, Tier 3, and struggle in Tier 1. It happens. It is a completely different ball game. Equally,
I promise you, they will upset one team and stop them from getting a spot. I promise you now, that will happen with that team.
Yeah.
They will catch somebody at the right time. I promise you that.
Yeah, absolutely. And I know from speaking to the coaches of these teams and players on the team and asking, how are these newbies doing? How are they getting on? There's been I don't want to say mixed comments, but it's been like cautious comments is probably a better way to put it. Saying, yeah, you know, fitting in well, doing good. A little bit of nerves for one or two of them as well. It's going to take a bit of time to settle in. Don't expect miracles on day one. Although I would love it if we had someone like Stompin just rock up and drop 15 kills on the first game he ever plays. It'd be amazing. But it's a lot to ask.
It is. It is. Well, we're back.
Finally.
Back in the game. Finally.
Stop the yap.
Indeed. We never stopped the app.
That's true.
Sent that up.
The app just changes topic. And now
So-
the app is about the game.
And we kick things off with a basement castle roam, which is,
Ooh.
I always like to think of it as an old TSM strat. And SSG. TSM and SSG, I know, would love the castle in and towards this bar area. SSG, I think, were the first ones to do it, where they really went for the roam game, and then you had teams like TSM would bring the castle in, and they would play like the suicide strip position for Geo, for example. It's a lot of history with that operator in this map.
Oh, you know, you said that. That was a really interesting old setup, the like suicide strip play. Yeah, when you'd open up pool table and like play really aggressively into it, it was super fascinating. Yeah.
So, yeah, a lot of things with this. It seems as though this is much more of a loose kind of hold. You know, nobody looks as though they're really interested in holding in towards this mid floor. Almost seems to be a bit of a bait, Des, to get some utility. It looks to be the only utility they actually got out of them was just a single ram drum. That's it.
We did see a full 3-4 roam yesterday when one of the teams played Legion Goyo as their, like, please don't rush us kind of operators. And then the other three were all up on the top floor. And I want to say it was Legion was playing on the ground floor. They got rushed and they lost the round. I liked the ingenuity. I liked the creativity. I'm all here for it. But teams have had enough years now seeing the SSG roam on this map that they know how to deal with it. And there's a reason why not many teams play it anymore, to be fair. The game has moved on.
Grim Shotgun is another thing we have to have a look at.
Okay, that I missed. This is an Argentinian classic, I hear.
It could be. I think, again, for your Grim, if you are going to play him in towards blue, you probably want the shotgun. You would, in that scenario. If somebody's going to be on the mirror window, you just jiggle peek the door and the shotgun will just one pump him. So it's not a bad idea, to be fair. But again, personal preference, I suppose. If he feels as though he's better with the shotgun on this bomb site, then by all means, you go for it. It looks pretty default at the moment, Des, isn't it? You know, verticality opened up, hatches are there. I think the main issue they will have, though, Des, is they haven't got any kills yet. And for the basement, typically we see it be a bit of a bloodbath where it will come down into the final few seconds. Ideally, the attackers will want to get some picks to really weaken the stronghold that the defenders have. But at the moment, you look at the defense, Des. Azami in towards AKs, sitting pretty. You've got the mirror window still up. The Grim's not going to affect this operator. What are they going to do?
Right now, trying to hold down towards blue, and it is the right idea. At the same time, there's trades coming in from behind. Look at that. It was all a ruse. Blue was just bait, because at the same time, 9Z have pushed their way down from kitchen, down main stairs, and slaughtered the members of Lost Legacy. He had a 3K back in the first round, has found one for himself here, but has got 3 players to deal with. 9Z have hit them like lightning here, and there is nothing they can do about it. Joe gets the final close down. Fantastic round and fantastic attack.
Wow, that is some big energy, just walking straight down the main corridor, Des. Yeah, like you said, everyone in blue was just fixated on that position. They were not expecting main stairs. First of all, how's that guy walking down main stairs? I believe that mirror window was placed horrendously. Typically on the church wall, you will have the right side and the middle wall reinforced. Mirror window goes in the far left of the middle reinforcement, okay? Then you can swing and stop people walking down main stairs. I'm pretty sure I've seen the mirror window on the right-hand side wall, so you can't use the mirror window to swing and hold main stairs. That's what I think I've seen, which frightens me that I've seen that. So nobody was holding main stairs, so the guy just walked down main corridor.
You have to go back and verify.
I'm 99% sure that's what I've seen.
You sure there's no smokes deployed, anything like that to help shield the advance?
No, but it doesn't even matter. If the mirror window could still be up, you could see the guy walk down. You cannot swing off the mirror window to stop the guy walking down main stairs.
10 seconds remaining.
Are you saying the wall was full reinforced off?
No. The right-hand side and the middle wall was reinforced. Left-hand wall was soft. Whenever you play the mirror,
you can't swing on
you
the middle
put the mirror
one
window in the middle one, and then you swing off the left. This guy put the mirror window on the right wall.
We have access to our little clean feeling. We can go back and find out what happened, Demo. So I'll have a dig while you talk about this round.
Yep. So yeah, that's what I'm pretty sure. Blackbeard comes in, as does the Monty, so double shields make an appearance. And this was always the worry with the bans that Lost had went for whenever they're targeting those hard breachers, is that now you have to deal with the other remainders that you have to go up against. And oh, look at that, an impact will connect through the mirror window and will stop that wall being opened up momentarily. You see, you tried the Habana trick where you place 4 Habana pellets at the top middle of the wall, 4 Habana pellets at the bottom middle of the wall, and then it just drops the reinforcement completely, but that has since then been nullified. These mirror windows are causing a lot of issues. This honestly could be the ban for 9Z going into their next banning phase.
Even though you felt in the last round it was a troll.
It was a troll, but for this, and of course the previous round as well, with the gym and bedroom, yeah, it was pretty strong for them.
The one looking in towards blue was very impactful for them, granted. I haven't got a clean feed, so I can't go back and dig yet, but when I can, I'll let you know.
Thank you.
Now I just have to stick with watching. They're trying as pushing towards site here. Of course, need this main breach to be opened up. They need it. They have to get this wall opened up, but they'll find themselves a little bit stuck out here, I imagine. No more impacts left, admittedly, for Farius as well, so it's not the end of the world. But still, at the point where we're halfway into the round and nothing has really progressed yet.
Yeah, I don't know what they're going to do here. They've not got enough to open up the... yeah, that too. They don't have enough to open up server wall. They've got one hard breach gadget to try and open up the single breach, but then they've got the mirror window there, so they'll just pop that, so they cannot place it on that. So I don't know how they're getting in. Like this is tricky.
Yeah, I always love seeing these construction pushes because it is so tight and it demands so much from teams to make a really good execute work. But as you've remarked a couple of times, without the main breach, I'm very nervous for them. And you've still got Kurtz on the Clash, ready to freeze them out. You've got Goyo canisters to go. VIP's not open. They've kind of like said, I don't want to do items 1 to 4 on this checklist. Can I just do option 5 and win the round? I'm afraid it doesn't work like that, guys. There's far more that still needs to be done, but we're out of time in which to do it.
Goyo canister as well. I mean, the Goyo canister wins right now. They just have to pop that and that's it, over and done with. Just nothing happening here for 9Z. I mean, what, is Will just going to jump in through the breach? He can't do that. He'll die straight away. And yeah, the Clash can just lock up the door if he wants to. He can pop the Goyo. Look at this. I mean, they can't even get through that Clash. They actually kill him from below, but I mean, you can't get through the door, Des. They have nothing to get through it.
I mean, they can also knock it over, which they've now done. You have to get close and knock it down, which they've now done. And in comes Nitro. There is no way they make this work, but the plan is going down. Varius double nades on him. Comes in a 1 versus 1 against the Blackbeard. Cannot stop him. And Diffuser is going to be down. How the hell have Lost let this happen? 9Z in a spot here to close things out, but he's already won the 1v1. Joe, both down to a bullet here. Who comes down to get the shot first? Of course it's going to be Joe. 9Z move up to 2-1, but they should not. They should not have been able to win that round. Wow.
I just...
That was crazy. Absolutely crazy. I mean, Outlaw was peeking on the main breach out in CC, and then CC to look outside and got a free kill. But all madness ensued inside of the actual site itself, and all because of a kill from downstairs.
20 seconds, that kill came in out of nowhere.
I'm really confused as to why the Clash chose to deploy then. Like,
I mean,
was there a
the
need?
thing is, it's all right deploying there, but just pop the Goyo and run away.
Yeah,
he was playing up close and personal. I mean, maybe we're being too cynical there. Is he really expecting some guy to be dossed about downstairs shooting 3 floors at 20 seconds? Probably not.
Well, by hook or by crook, 9Z are up 2-1. Lost probably kicking themselves a little bit for some moments in this game.
Oh, massively, yeah.
But that is how the cookie has crumbled. Now someone else gets to go on the Clash to try and do something a little bit more useful with it. Over to gym and bedroom we go as we start that full repeat here. And let's talk about these bans as well for a second here. Demo, I thought we might see like a banner ban coming in just to really limit them in terms of hard breach options. But no, it has been the Blackbeard. And as you guessed, the mirror also being taken away.
Yeah. I think it's the 2 operators that both teams have struggled with respectively. So it makes a lot of sense at this stage, isn't it? It's not the case of it's part of the game plan. It's these 2 teams are just running this operator all the time. Let's just remove that, you know? Honestly, I've watched a lot of Clubhouse, as have you. And you think you've seen it all. You think you've seen it all, don't you? But somehow you don't see that, do you? It's incredible. This region is just absolute top tier. honestly.
It's one thing I'll give to, I think Lax and Fox were speaking about it a bit earlier, was like, you know, Furia on the international stage are like Giga Chads, like really hard to beat. And then in their own region, as we've seen across the last year, it's been middling at times, as the game was earlier on. There's no way they should be losing to NIP.
There's only one team who comes from Brazil who is always good in their own league, and that's FaZe. Yeah, FaZe are the most ridiculous, consistent side in any of our respective regional leagues.
Completely agree.
It's not even funny.
And international performances, like I think the stat I rolled out across the last 10 tournaments they have been at, in 9 of them, they have only lost to a grand finalist, unless they went on to win the event itself.
Yeah.
That is scary level consistency. And the number of those that they finished in the top 4, I think was like 7 of them. Like, I cannot get over it. And I think because
I don't think they've ever missed an event. Like, bro, just take the day off.
Can we just not play Clash anymore, please? Just take the day off.
just offer, just honestly, mate, you don't need to be here.
That is such a great expression. That's tickled me, Demo. Thank you very much for that. But please, Arthur, just take a seat, son. Have a rest and think about what you've done. That's the sort of thing you'd see in ranked, but I don't know about here. That's so weird. Take a day off.
Right. So you've lost the Clash right from the rip, just for no reason. Again, I'm happy to see better choices for 9Z. You've brought in the Ying. You want to go for that Logi drop? This is now doable. They've brought in more hard breachers. They have that Thermite. They've actually gave themselves a breach this time over towards Jacuzzi. And there you go. 3, 2, 1. In goes the util dump. They've taken the ground. They've taken these positions. All they have to do now is just recollect themselves, figure out where the remaining defenders are. One of them will be exposing themselves in main stairs, and somehow Kurtz wins that against the shotgun, but does take a hefty amount of damage for it. But look at the time, though, because 9Z went early, Des. This gives them the time now just to slow it down and figure out what they want to do.
They're so split here as well, mind you. Like, they're so isolated. He tries to make this cross here. He probably dies unless he gets that first shot back onto the player outside breach. The other player is dug more inside the site, as you can see here. He's very isolated as well. But no, Outlaw wins the one. That now makes it far easier to win for the other side. It could all fall apart, but no. Nitro carries on in the round, hits a 3K. And here we go. They know where Kurtz is. He can't win the 1v1, but that's exactly what he does. Nitro trying to stick here as well. Comes off diffuser. Shotgun in hand. And Kurtz goes massive. What the hell is going on with teams clutching up or throwing these rounds something special? What a game!
Oh my god, just...
What a game, Demo! What a game! We thought NIP versus Furia was bad!
After all that, Arthur's probably thinking, good thing these guys can play the game, because I can't. Honestly, because he trolled that start of the round as the Clash, and somehow his team still wins. That's a 2v4, by the way. I think it was a 2v4. Yeah.
Bonkers. Absolutely bonkers. But if what you want is some entertainment on a Sunday night, you're getting it, whether you like it or not.
Oh boy.
Excellent.
Where do we go from here? You know?
The only way is up, Demo. I think.
This region just absolutely breaks me. You know, I'm just sitting here thinking, you know, Des, are we human or are we dancers? That's the real question that I want to know answered.
Which one do you think we are right now? I think we're dancing. We are dancing. Oh, I'm loving it. You know what? We like some good polished Siege. We love it. But I love the moments of chaos like we've seen over the last couple of days, and of course it has to happen in this region. What really makes me laugh is it humanizes them in a way, because so often is Brazil held upon this pedestal of being, you know, the perfect region. They play the best Siege. It's aggressive. It's structured. Like no one can stop it. And then you see moments like these, things that, again, no offense, you'd normally see happening in something like APAC, and you go, oh, turns out even the best in the world can really muck it up as well. Now, is it fair to call 9Z and lost the best in the world? Maybe not. But as we've already seen today, teams like Furia can also muck it up at the same time. It just makes for some very, very fun viewing. I'm enjoying myself a lot. And I hope you are too, Demo.
We'll come back at the end of the night. We'll see if I'm still here. Right. Anyway, basement time again. And for 9Z, see the sense come into play. And in terms of just how that operator's going to play out, you would assume it'll be used for like a main stairs push maybe, or we can just try and cover off the entirety of the long corridor. And roam game being attempted by Loss isn't going to bring them any fruition at the moment, Des, as they have lost that opening engagement. Kurtz goes down and looks as though that maybe the second player will join them, as Upstairs Legacy is in for a world of hurt. The Buck actually using the skeleton key to fight against the roamers above him rather than below him. Don't see that all too often. Legacy's still alive though upstairs. It's not the player that they just eliminated. It's not the mute. Instead, that was the Legion.
Oh,
I mean,
they've got the pings there as well.
Oh, there we go. Down.
They got the down as well. Beautiful. Like, again, the combo there, the intel being used, really good stuff. This is the second day. I know it's been chaotic, but it's another day where I'm feeling relatively impressed with what I'm seeing out of 9Z. Yeah, Joe, again, I'll come back to him. Like, for me, was probably my player of the day yesterday. Really love what I saw. Out of new names anyway, because of course players like Bolts went absolutely nuts. But Joe had a really good day yesterday. I was worried it'd be a flash in the pan. Today he's carrying on playing so well, but the whole team is really coming together today. It looks really cool to see.
Can I just make a point? Again, they're in a 5v2. I still don't trust them.
I don't blame you, Demo. I don't blame you. It's okay to remain skeptical. That's a good, healthy trait to have. Do not trust your eyes, or they lie to you.
Yeah, now, I mean, it should be fine. You've got plenty of Grims in here. You've got the Demo still up. You know the positions of these players. Actually, I don't think... They don't know where Orpher is, but again, they know where this guy in AKs is.
Well, now they definitely know. And he's got a nade coming at his face, and he is dead. Flawless round. Much better from 9Z.
Oh.
I've got the main stream up on my other screen, so I like to kind of see people's reactions to what happens in previous rounds. We've just had that moment with Arthur on the clash outside Jacuzzi Breach. Very good.
Yeah, better from 9Z. Actually closed the round out. Yeah, should have won that. Could argue, should it be a 4-1? Probably. But still, loss. Could still get this last round here and keep them in on an even split. Which is, of course, doable whenever they switch over to attack and they get all the fun tools at Ozil. We head back over to this site. And this is probably where I mean, you could argue this is the round that 9Z probably shouldn't have won.
Yes, I would agree. It was one where they were looking, 20 seconds on the clock, a clash about a locked off door, and they get a kill from below, all hell breaks loose. They didn't have main breach open, yet still managed to get it over the line. It almost came down to the clutch as well, let's not forget as well. If not for Joe winning out the 1 versus 1 and netting a 3K in the round, that round was probably lost for 9Z.
Yeah. And also, it's going to help them a lot with that mirror ban, because the mirror caused them issues, because they put the mirror window in the middle of the external breach over towards server. So with not having to deal with that, the Habana can simply move in and do what she intended to do that first round before those impacts come in and stop that from happening. So yeah, they should have a much smoother ride this time, Des, of getting these walls open, which of course was that main issue the last time. And this is where the banning phase is. It's great to see. You know, this is where you struggle on one half because of one operator. You remove that off the board, and then all of a sudden, the second half is a lot easier.
Absolutely. You put yourself in a commanding position. I always come back to what I say, though. It's too hard to a game of Siege. You just don't know what you're going to see when the sides swap. Like, again, I look back at Black Dragons NIP yesterday. It was 5-1 against NIP. They looked guaranteed to lose, and we all saw what happened there. Unfortunate, really, for NASA to disconnect here. I think it's outside of the time that's allowed as well for us to rehost here. If we have to play the round out. I want to say it's 30.
It must be 30 because it would have been called by now.
To hand.
Yeah.
We play on. We play on.
Yep, we play on.
I mean, we've seen some mental rounds already. They can win a 4 versus 5.
Play to the whistle, Des. Play to the whistle.
Absolutely, absolutely. Unless they blow the whistle really early. Morgan Rogers knows how that feels.
Oh dear. That's not my problem.
Yeah. I'll hold you responsible. Okay, I guess we're getting a rehost. Fair enough.
Okay.
Okay.
So maybe it is the 45-second mark.
Maybe it is. Maybe it is. I'd have to go and check the rule.
I think he dropped the. I think it's 220. He dropped that. So. Yeah, it is 45. They're on the right. Yeah.
Damn. Them storms in Sao Paulo are really doing you a favor there, doing a solid with 3 or 4 seconds extra notice. Woo!
Pretty good.
Yep. All right, so when we get back into things, we can crack on. But Demo, what else should we talk about for now? Because we'll talk about Siege a lot tonight, as we have already. Let's find something else to talk about for a brief amount of time. I have a question, actually. Is it really warm for you at the minute?
In my room? or outside?
I guess both outside and in your room.
My room is pretty warm, but I think that's just because I'm casting and it usually gets warm whenever the lights and stuff are on, you know?
I'm guessing it's set to be like roasting hot for you this week, because I was looking at the weather. It's like 30 degrees next weekend. And around the world, 30 degrees is like, yeah, so we don't have aircon in the UK. We roast to death.
I mean, it did nothing but rain yesterday.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
In fact, I woke up to rain this morning, but it was still very warm.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's about 16 degrees over here at the moment, and today it was fine. I'm pretty sure, I think the weekend is set to be good, with like 25 degrees, I think, on Sunday next week, so...
Whereabouts are you based, actually? What town, area, city, whatever?
So, obviously, we've got 6 counties in Northern Ireland. I hail from County Antrim, so that'll be the most northeastern part of the country.
Oh, wow. I've just looked at the Giant's Causeway. I've heard of it, but not seen it. That is beautiful.
That's one thing about we call it our wee country. That's the way we like to describe it. If anyone is, a Game of Thrones fan, for example, they've done a lot of filming of Game of Thrones over here. So there is a lot of different things. Plenty of Game of Thrones tours and all happen over here. You've got Giant's Causeway, which, like you mentioned, is there. It's like a geographical kind of volcanic set of stones that was made, which is pretty cool.
I've just Googled it, and when I first saw the picture of it, I thought this was like mountainous, like huge, like humans look tiny on it. I went to a picture of people stood on it, and it is really small.
Mm-hmm.
But chat, I implore you, while we're sat here waiting for the rehost, go and Google Giant's Causeway, Causeway.
It's called the Giant's Causeway because there was a myth that it was used as a stepping bridge between Northern Ireland and Scotland, and that's where giants used to jump across. That's what it was used for.
And that was their launch pad, was it?
Yeah, that's what it was from.
That's so interesting.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't seen a lot of Ireland, to be fair, or Northern Ireland. I've only really been to like Dublin. I've been to Cork. Where else have I been? I'm very aware that neither of those places actually exist inside Northern Ireland, right?
Yeah, that's down south.
Have I been to Belfast?
Belfast again. Titanic is famous over here because we built it.
Wait, I'm definitely going to show some. I'm actually not going to speak until I've looked into this because I'm so confused. Hang on a minute. There are two bangers, right? I've just seen on the map, there's a banger in Northern Ireland. I did not know that. And I was like, I swear that was meant to be in Wales.
Yeah, no, it's that. I don't know if I said it, but there is actually, I'll say it. Peter Bull's actually from there, Pack Bull.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, he's from down that area. So, yeah.
Doxed?
No, not Doxed. I think people know he's from North Ireland as well.
I can never see that name banger without thinking about a line that I dropped at someone's best man, and my speech referenced banger, which was very funny.
Mm-hmm.
The closing line was something like, I don't mind saying it on broadcast, why not? We're into happy hours of a Sunday night. It was something like, I did this whole speech where obviously I'd ripped on him, referred to myself as the donkey to his Shrek, so on and so forth. And at the end, I said something like, in conclusion, I really hope the happy couple enjoy their honeymoon in Wales. At least I assume they're going to Wales. Last time I asked him where they were going, he told me he was going to Bangor for a fortnight. That was very funny to us. Her dad did not look so pleased. I assume you followed upon what that reference was there, Demo, and that you aren't that innocent, please.
No.
Have you followed, or do you want me to help you explain?
No, I'll follow. You explain for the children at home, maybe.
They can understand where it's going. When they hear the name of the city, they're probably like, okay, I think we follow.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It was definitely a high moment in my life. Just having half a room look at you like they want to kill you, and half finding it hilarious. Supposedly, she then leaned over and went, only a fortnight. And I was like, wait, that's what I want to hear. There's some replays, by the way, I assume.
Yeah. Well, this of course, was big from Kurtz, wasn't it? I mean, really to help his team out here because it wasn't looking too good, in a 4v2 as well. You have to say, though, it's really the positioning, though, from 9Z wasn't great. No. For example, like you can see the Thermite just runs in by himself.
I think what they wanted to get was the side swipe, because probably the call coming from Logi was, I've got him, like he's behind Mattress, I know where he is, I'm challenging. Outlaw then goes to that side swipe, but it was a really good read by the player who was inside a bedroom to get the 1v1 isolated, and then of course all madness breaks out here. It was a fantastic play from Kurtz. Like, I'll give it to him 100%.
Yep. I mean, the Yingyer, again, positioning, like pretty common angle just to pre-fire, isn't it? So, yeah, positioning I think also was not good from 9Z that round, and certainly lost, just able to play off it. But yeah, somebody's having a
talk
walk.
about?
Anything you want? I don't mind.
Oh, I know what we can talk about. Have you got Game Pass?
Yeah.
Hell yeah, I'm going down the sponsor path. We can talk about it because they're a sponsor of obviously Siege at the moment as well. We had them at Reload.
Yep.
What good games have you got on Game Pass at the minute? And I've checked we are allowed to talk about games that are on Game Pass.
Well, I'm a big fan. Well, they just got announced. It's a game called Grounded. I don't know if you've ever played it before.
Yes, Grounded 2's coming out, isn't it?
Yeah, Grounded 2's coming out. So
I can't wait. See, I played Grounded when it was in its pre-release. Nice. I want to say because they had a remix in it where you could play different classes and stuff like that.
I
didn't go back and play it at that time.
Yeah, it's good. I'm really big fan of the game. I think the concept of it is crazy because it's not very often. There's not many games, Des, where the main things that you have to worry about fighting are like ants and stuff. You know, you don't really see that all too often.
I had a friend who played it with.
But that's
he hated spiders, and so we had to apply that mod that turns them into cats.
Yeah,
it makes them into
big blobs. I'm pretty sure as well. It's just in the game.
It's weird.
You can set them to. Yeah.
So I'm looking forward to trying that. That'd be good fun.
But it's a scary game whenever you first play it, with those big spiders running around, and then you get the right gear, and then I go out hunting them for fun, and all of a sudden the hunted become the prey.
Yeah, you're like, oh, the hunters have become the hunted. Hell yeah.
Yep.
There is a game that I'm like, I've waxed lyrical to the death about this game, and it is different to what most people will play, but I used to play a lot of Final Fantasy as a kid. On Game Pass, there is Clair Obscur Expedition 33, which looks like a really weird game from the outside, but it's got so many rave reviews that if you're looking to try something a little bit different, I'd really encourage giving it a go. Like, it is just shown as well. It's made by 33 people, plus a bunch of other, obviously, external support people as well. But it's a French game, so it's very French themed. Not so much so that it feels like, oh, it's just all about the French, but it's just incredible. And I would fully endorse anyone watching, if you want to try something a bit different, go and try Clair Obscur Expedition 33. It's like my favorite game of the last decade. So good.
A lot of games. A lot of stuff.
A lot. There is a lot on there. I've seen Malalaws is on there. That was made by one developer. It's still obviously under development now, but it was really good. You like kind of like an old school sort of village builder style game. That was class. Really good. What else? I heard there's a game called Siege X that you can get on there as well, demo.
There is. You can get the Elite Edition, I believe, as well. Which is really good.
I need to get some friends to come and play Siege X. Now that obviously we've got the ability to play it for free to start with, I'm like, I should get some people in to come play this now that I haven't touched it otherwise. And a few friends have actually messaged saying, oh, haven't you got like Siege 2.0 coming out? I was like, yeah, it's called Siege X. I was like, it's free, so you can come and play some with me. We'll have a good time. And they're like, yeah, I'll get it downloaded. I'll come play. And I was like, yeah, cool.
I also believe that a lot of the Battlefield games from Milos are on the Game Pass as well. So you can go and relive his... A lot of the Battlefield games from Milos are also in the Game Pass, I believe.
Yeah.
So he can have fun with that.
You can jump into. Good old Milos the medic.
A lot of stuff now. A lot of old games as well. Like there's some classic like 360 games and stuff as well. Pretty sure you can get on it.
There's is it Gears of War Reloaded? Is it called?
Yeah. It just dropped. Yeah. I'm pretty sure it just dropped as well.
I am very curious. I'm keen to go back and play that because that was like one of my games as a kid. Like that. Actually, like this is like back in high school days. I'm showing my age a little bit here, but I grew up playing that with my friends at high school, and it was just amazing. Oh. But what I'm worried about is I go back and play it, and it's nostalgia that has carried it, and you realize games have come on so far these days that those games now feel a little bit old and out of date, if you get me.
I know what you mean. Yeah.
It was kind of my worry with Oblivion as well, and that obviously came out. Everyone was a bit like, yeah, maybe it wasn't actually that good. Like, it's still good, but it wasn't as good as people remembered it being because of nostalgia.
Farming Simulator for any farmers out there as well is also on the game.
Oh, I tell you what, the talent team went nuts on that game for a while, big time.
Yeah, but
like
but none of 25 came out. Nobody's to be seen. Nobody's came near me.
No one's that
Shocking.
serious. People just know you've got it unlocked, mate. That's the problem.
Shocking, absolutely shocking behavior.
So a little checkaroo on what's going on at the minute, actually, to be fair. Where's my chat? Nine's a player with some problems on his account, therefore we shall have to wait. I don't mind. I'm happy to sit here and talk a bunch of smack. Totally chill by me.
We could do a Q&A with the chat.
Yeah, I mean, the problem is there's always like a delay with chat. However, we'll say it now, because this could be a long delay, we don't know. Chat, if you do want anything to be discussed, if you've got any questions, please just feel free to ask. I love us. Some guy in chat's been like, what the hell are they talking about? The match is live. No, idiot. That was a replay.
Oh, wait, whoa, don't call me an idiot. Whoa,
now,
look,
it's past 8 p.m. on a Sunday. I feel like the watershed is fast approaching.
Watershed.
We're going to start getting to that point now. The watershed, what was the watershed used to be? 9 p.m. was it?
It was 9 p.m. Yeah.
Oh, I'm an hour early, but if I'm in Europe, then it's the watershed, so we'll go with it.
If you're in Brazil, it's not.
Granted, that was harsh. He wasn't an idiot. It didn't say replay on the screen at the time. It was just the game up on the screen, so, you know, forgive him.
However, I don't think they need a table.
Hey! Yes, however, I will keep an eye on things people mention, so next time we do come to a tech pause, because it will happen again tonight, let's not lie, and we can have a good old natter about those things, Demo. Whee! So, let's get people caught back up again. Do you want to give us a run-through on where we're at, what's happened so far? You do the spiel.
Again, I think 9Z have been the team who have commanded the majority of the game. Both teams, I feel, though, have lost 2 pretty big rounds. Lost again a round which you wouldn't expect to see them lose. Same thing can be said for 9Z, winning rounds that they shouldn't be able to win. But again, still, it's up there in the air for both of these teams. 9Z, they get 4-2, yeah, great position. If Lost get the 3-3, yeah, fairly decent half for them, and they should be quite happy with that. Obviously, the bans have played into it. Again, hard breachers and electrical bans and a rehost ban. We ban rehosts
again. We're gonna have to rehost again. I don't know what the rules are on like number of rehosts or time delay or anything like that. I don't know, so we're just gonna roll with it. It's fine. What I'm worried about is I'm seeing Arthur on Clash again. I don't want to see that anymore today.
He'll end up on the roof somehow. He'll be outside. Definitely rehost him because, I mean, like, please tell me this is a rehost and don't tell me this is the round, Des. Please don't tell me that's the round.
I mean, it's the same thing, play to the whistle, right? But given it was 219 on the last one, I don't know if it's like because we already had one rehost, we have to carry on playing.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Right.
Okay, let's play Chase the Drone. That's a great idea.
I think we'll do, well, let's just, I'm just going to cast it as though that is the round. Why is he reinforcing the hatch whenever the round started? Kitchen hatch as well. Of all hatches are reinforced as. Rookie mistake from Legacy, it has to be said.
I mean, sure. The man was just enjoying himself, Demo, because it's 5 versus 4. What can I say?
Yeah, but again, you don't want to be given any advantage to the team who are currently playing with a man down, and because of that hatch was soft and... What's this?
We get the 5 box whilst the game is still being played, I guess.
Ooh, we can read into the emotions of the game based on the player's
reactions. We could have for about 3 seconds. I hope you're really good at reading people, because that was a very quick amount of time in which to do it.
Well, I was able to read you as a person within 2 seconds of meeting you, so...
Ooh, wow. We had a lot of fun in the early days.
In that studio, my goodness
You'd probably spoken to about 3 people in your entire life.
Yep.
I'm pretty sure you hadn't kissed a girl at that point in your life either.
Your company wasn't even a company, which I think is also pretty crazy.
But was it? Was it not? No, it was. It was more like a. It was a very fledgling. It was like 5 people back then.
You literally just started it.
Yeah. No, I started it out of uni, didn't I? And I started Siege 7 years ago. The company's 10 years old. It's been going for a bit longer.
Yeah.
It's a big point now.
It's very much in the early days.
People now.
Yeah. You do employ somebody, which I don't know why you employ him, but sure.
Which one? Fresh?
That's not the answer I was looking for. Yes, Fresh.
Fresh is actually pretty good at his job, I'll give it to him.
Yeah, I know he is. He's very good with numbers.
I assume we're playing this round out, by the way?
I mean, yeah, we are. We're going for it. Yep.
Yeah, I think we are just going to see this one out. So we'll actually cast it, and then we can go back to talking smack afterwards. So for now, at least, 9Z have got to make it work in a 3 versus 4, and they are up against this clash. They're up against the keeper barriers, of which 2 are still in back pocket. They've got a lot to chew through, and not a lot of time in which to do it here. Environmental's being used as well, but look at this. As a warden, they've got the long watch. No one's walking down main corridor this time, Demo.
No. I think they're ready for it, aren't they? They've learned from their mistakes. And certainly for 9Z, the fact that they haven't even opened up that triple wall either, Des, ain't too good for them. But they're still going to suck in. They're still being able to get the kills. There is minimal blue pressure, though, and that allows a player like the castle just to move around. And the clash now in the 1v3. What is going on? Just kill after kill. Clutch dips in, able to stop it, but no! 9Z at the last hurrah, win it!
Again!
And they were a man down, by the way.
How have they done it again? Oh! Is that the third round won in the last second clutch this half? We had round 3 with Joe winning the 1v1. We had Kurtz winning the 1v2 in Gym Bedroom round 4. And then we've just had that in round 6. What?
Yep.
That is bonkers. Wow. I mean, fair play. It's been back and forth. Some rounds have been won, some have been thrown, some have been won from certain defeat. But it's 9Z still up with a 4-2 half on the attack. Nice stuff. You can't really complain either, because 9Z will be like, no, we don't want to rehost that round. We'll keep that score. That's fine.
Crazy stuff.
Wow.
And again, 4v5 the whole round as well does. Which I think is even more of a, you know, how do you lose that loss, you know?
You can't be affording to, really.
And there's still 4v5, by the way.
Yeah, they had the one that Joe went down obviously early on. They lost the mute upstairs, so it was a 3 versus 4. Like, that's even worse argued than a 5 versus 4. Just, yeah, fair play. Almost like a little bit too, they had to stop the plant going down, and I guess the Clash was there, but obviously Clash no longer does damage as well. Like, yeah, she slows people, but you have to be lethal. There'll always be the question of how the plant managed to get down in that position in the first place when there is a Clash on side to stop it.
Mm-hmm. Well, I can't say Des I've had the privilege of just casting a full 4v5 game before.
No, but
there have been games where it felt like a 4v5, but there was 5 people on the team. I've casted them before, but certainly just a blatant 4v5 is, yeah. How do you approach this?
So, what I've heard is 9Z have already reached the max time they have for remakes. Player must come back during the game. So they have to play on 4 versus 5. And the thing is, this feels obviously unfair, but the way to think about it is there are other teams still waiting to play who will be up until silly o'clock, and it could cost them their game here if they get too tired or things drag on too long. And of course, we've got a whole broadcast team focus on this as well. So the game does have to play on. We can't afford to sit and wait around for one player to come back.
And also, everyone, Des gets paid by the minute, so
it's very expensive for them. It is not a good time. I'm living my best life right now. I'm not going to lie. I'll be sending this internet company a bill later on saying, yeah, well, sorry, a check, sorry, saying thank you very much, but for now we have to play on. The thing is, they've got this good position. Is it like, it's plausible that you can win 4 versus 5 more in your defensive half and on the attacking side? Is it likely? No, but it is plausible.
I mean, we've seen crazier things happen before, but I just think, how many times on broadcast do we hark about the opening kill is so crucial? The team who has the opening kill dominates the game. Yeah. Basically, every round, Lost get the opening kill because it's just a 4v5 right from the rip. You know? So I think you have to take that in consideration. And certainly for the defense, whenever you're looking at this basement, you know, generally you like to set up with a few people around blue, you know, people in church, you know, one guy AKs, for example. It's now you have to drag somebody out of position, don't you? To fill in an area that maybe wasn't defended before, because you do not have that extra man.
I was looking back at the stats, and from those first 6 rounds, when the entry was secured, a team went on to win the round 4 times out of those 6. So again, you're looking at 66% there if you want to be real precise about the numbers. It's a good chance here that Lost can take a number of these rounds. However, they are on the attacking side, and for these teams that are still finding their feet, attack is where you can come undone a little bit here. So far being held back, bearing in mind nearly 2 minutes have gone from this round. Now we're into a 5 versus 3. In comes the charge from the Blitz, and he's gone down. They've 2v1 really well. It's left them a little bit thin elsewhere, but the main threat in the Blitz is gone. Now find themselves shot up from the back, but now suddenly it's a 3 versus 3. Nitro has gone big now, full flashed out, but can he hold on? Yes, he can, and there's 50 seconds to play.
Yeah, but look at this. Church, though, being left unmanned allows Lost just to slip in and take that site, but is the diffuser in a position? No, it's not, as Will take down Legacy, who had the diffuser in hand. Now they have to try and get stuck in. Outlaw, where are you? Helping your teammate. Where is he right now? Nitro has just a little bit of a hole opening for himself to see if he can try and get the back shot here off that Grim, and here comes Outlaw as he was just lingering in towards dirt. They never expect
they know where he is,
that late rotate. Yeah, they do. And again, they finally get that guy in church because they're so separated, Des. Outlaw.
Wow.
My God. 9Z win another round 4v5. Ow.
Okay. 2 in a row. Let's go. 5-2. Come on, boys. 2 more to go. They can win it 4
I'm
versus
sorry,
5.
but this is a mock. It has to be. How are you losing 2 rounds? Blatant 4v5. I'm sorry, how? How?
I actually love how at the start of this broadcast day, I said, unironically, I think this will be the game of the day because it will be the closest. And clearly it was so not close. It was very chaotic, in fact, that we've made it a 4 versus 5, and it is still very one-sided.
Oh my goodness me. Just, you have to wonder how we're Lost feeling right now, because if I was a Lost player and you're losing the rounds in a 4v5, you would be absolutely ripping. Absolutely ripping. This shouldn't happen. Like, it's more of a, that timeout, Des, it's not about the strats. That's a full mental reset. You're thinking, guys, what are we doing?
I thought we were about to make it a 3v5 for a second.
1v5 could be.
Oh.
I mean, what does this mean? Like, another rehost has happened? Like, what? Were we not told, Des, that there's no more rehost left? Like, this is a...
Maybe
we're
it's
in
he can't
silly
reconnect to the
territory.
game, so we get to rehost for him to be able to... I don't know what's going on. It could be any manner of things behind the scenes. Oh, some more replays, though, for us to take a quick look at here in case you have missed part of it. It has been a chaotic game. It's got a bit silly now with the 4v5s, granted, but the early rounds were silly as well. They were explosive in a very fun way. Some rounds that should not have been won were most definitely won. We had 3 big clutches coming out at the end of rounds to see a team coming out on top. This one here was ludicrously close. Joe wins it out against Varius at the very, very end. It's been entertaining, if nothing else. This is a questionable moment, admittedly.
Yeah. It was. The last game, whenever Furia lost, Milos looked as though he's ready to clock out for the day. I don't think Milos will show up for the post desk on this. I think he's gone.
I do have a question for you, Demo, that someone put to me. Justin actually asked in chat. If you were to be stranded on an island with 1 athlete, 1 celebrity, and 1 actor, who would you choose?
Athlete?
Yeah.
George Best.
Okay, why George Best?
Does he bring a booze with him?
All right, fair.
I think always
it's
helps.
a party. Granted, I did wonder where you were going with that. I was like, you know what he's known for, right?
There for a good time. There for a good time.
Yeah.
And we can have a kickabout as well. Have a kickabout. I think that's pretty
also
good.
Fair. Okay, granted. And then
who else? What else am I after? An actor.
Celebrity and an actor.
Actor Tom Hanks, because he's been in this situation before.
Yeah, fair.
Yep.
Granted, nice.
And
You're very creative with these choices. You're pretty good. Celebrity.
And celebrity. Both of them are celebrities. We just
I was going to say the definition of celebrity is quite loose.
Right, I'm not going to say like Bear Grylls or like the survival expert because that's boring. I will take Gordon.
Gordon.
Yep.
Gordon Ramsay?
Yeah.
To be fair, you've been very tactical with those selections.
I believe he could work a coconut. I think he could.
Well, you've gone for someone who knows about survival. You've gone for someone that brings the party and you can have a kickabout, stay entertained, and then one can cook really well.
There you go.
And probably hunt as well. He can probably hunt and get his own food.
Yep.
They're very tactical choices. I'm impressed. I'm actually awful with faces and names of famous people in general, so I'm just like, I'm not even going to try and answer the question because I'll probably pick an Aston Villa football player, Tyrone Mings, because he's just a really nice guy, cool guy. Celebrity and an actor. Actor Gerard Butler. I think he's absolutely brilliant, so I'll maybe go for him. He's one of the very few actors I know. Celebrity. See, I haven't thought about this tactically like you have, is the problem. I'm just thinking people that'd be fun. Celebrity. Get me Jamie Oliver up there. You can take Gordon Ramsay. I'll take Jamie Oliver.
Why would you go for Jamie Oliver?
It'll be funny. You know what? He won't cook any food. He'll just complain about nuggets being served to kids at school, and that's about as far as we'll get. We'll take it. That was the only question that came through, actually.
They hate us.
You know what we do have, and I will address it because chat has mentioned it a few times. We have the phantom Discord pings, and we can't figure out what's happening. Production have said it's not coming from their computers because they don't have Discord sounds turned on, obviously. There's cases where like our audio can feed back in, but we don't. I don't have Discord pings. I don't know about you. I haven't got them turned on. I never have.
I don't have any friends to message. That can't be me.
Is your last DMs for the last 3 months just to me from earlier on today about this broadcast? Is that as far as we've got?
You and who else did I get a message from? That's really it. I'll be honest with you. Yeah.
About as close as we've got. Yeah, it would be good. We could even drag the analysts in for a chat if we really want to make this a bit chaotic once the standings are done. We could come in and get their thoughts on the first half.
Let's just randomly drag them in, and they're just like, "What am I doing here?"
Yeah, production, just enable their audio channels now, and let's see what they've got to say.
Exactly. We'll just see who we want to choose.
Because Fresh and Leo got hot mic'd yesterday. It was very funny.
I've seen that. Yeah.
It was class. In case you are wondering about standings overall and what's happening in the overall league, though, here you go on your screen now. W7M are flying, surprising absolutely no one. FaZe are probably going to join them there very, very soon. NIP may surprise seeing them in second for now, but they had a good result earlier and, of course, won an OT yesterday, so really can't fault them too much. Furia in fourth. Not the strongest start they were looking for, and right down at the bottom, ENX have had a rough couple of days, winning just 3 rounds in total. I've been told, by the way, a 6th player is coming, so they're going to allow a sub. And I cannot possibly see this not causing issues in the future.
Yeah, that's the thing. You've opened up. They've opened
Pandora's
up the gateway,
box
haven't they?
is opened.
Yeah.
Yes. Abridex is joining 9Z.
So this is their assistant coach, Des, which is fine.
Okay, fair enough. He's on the roster, but I know that normally subs mid-game have not been allowed. However, maybe under extraneous circumstances, such as bad weather conditions affecting internet, it's allowed.
And again, it doesn't look as though he has any record of playing at all. So this could be tricky for him.
Intriguing. What role do you reckon you play if you're being dragged in as a coach last second?
We've seen this before. It's not as though we're in like new territory, but we've seen coaches play
Chaos
before.
back in the day. Who was it that played
Maestro?
Hyperino. Yeah, because he went nuts, didn't he?
Yeah.
And had like the best stats ever, and then never played again. That's because he was the coach. It was brilliant.
There's 2 thought processes, and it is 1, you stick him on the role of that player, because at the end of the day, the coach will know what that player was supposed to do. But then the issue that you will have is he's not going to be able to play that role the same way as the player was, right? It's all well and good saying, okay, I know how to play that role and playing that role. 2 different things, isn't it? You actually have to go and do it, you know? It's like, for example, people study, in university, all that stuff, and then it comes to actually doing the job, and it's a different kettle of fish, isn't it? Right? That's the thought process you can have, which is 1. Or 2, you let the coach just do what he wants, really the strat book goes out the window, and everyone just plays pretty free. So that's I think, the 2 options.
.5 versus 5. I'd love him to come on and be an absolute gunner. Hey, okay. We give it a go.
Yeah,
Abridex is in.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see what he can do.
And the thing is, even though he is the assistant coach, you're not expecting much out of him. They've just shown that they can win 4v5. They've just won 2 rounds with it. So as long as he sits there and maybe just gives them like a BP or something and just calls in the cam, could be fine.
All right. Okay. I mean, look, they've got to get 2 rounds over the line. They're almost at the finish line already. They've already won a 4 versus 5. There is every chance they can do this.
2 4v5s.
Off we go. Huh?
2 4v5s.
Yep. Very true. Very true. They've won 2 of them. May well make it 3, and then why not make it 4 as well? Cash and CC is where they're going to go to for the next round here. Already by the looks of it, we've got ourselves a setup coming in inside of Garage. And yeah, there's a lot of that to face off again. This is the thing now. They're probably going to see a lot of pressure coming in from the Lost side. I think they're really going to try and run things down and move at more pace because it's a good way to overwhelm and capitalize on what they will see as a weakness in Abridex.
There's the Game Pass that me and Des were talking about. There you go. Members get free in-game benefits starting June the 10th, which was 5 days ago. So go get your free in-game benefits, guys. Go and get them. Yeah, I think if you look at the lineup from Lost, you're bringing in the Blackbeard, you're bringing in the Capitao. Immediately, I'm thinking Garage Take is a sure thing. It's gotta be, just based on those operators alone. They've got the mirror though, Des, so the same issues that 9Z struggled with. Remember that they tried to open up the walls, but they couldn't because the mirror window using the impact tricking was a bit of a headache. Same thing can now be used against Loss.
I was curious to go and dig into Abradex's tab stats. There's not a lot of history there. So I can't tell if he's going to be an absolute gunner or if he's barely touched the game. This could be interesting. Who knows? We'll find out once the round gets underway a little bit further. Of course, this is still the early phase now where it's more about feeling out where the push is coming from and where resources need to be allocated. Seeing the feet outside of Legacy as well. A couple of toe shots coming on through. Just take off 15 HP away from that Capital. Not the end of the world, but now that they know there is pressure inside a garage, they're going to have to commit resources, and Will holds down as well. They're trying to get in on him. Got one, will almost get a second, but no, it's a shield. Double nades come on through. There was a shield bearing down on him. They've managed to find 2 kills, and now Loss are in the man advantage situation.
The only issue, though, Des, is they have used a lot of utility. Both of the fire arrows are gone. All of the nades are gone. So the Izami barriers up in towards Rafters, Des, are going to be a big issue for them. They can't nade them away. They can't just fire the guy out of there. Garage is going to be an issue.
It is. But that's assuming, of course, they want that to be the main point of control. Is that going to be where the attackers come from? Because for this site, we often talk about 2 points of attack. You want normally the main breach being opened up to the east, then you either want the south control of garage or you want construction. We already saw the madness around a construction take earlier on. So garage is generally considered the easier one to go for. However, as we've seen, it was held up there. It was well stacked up by 9Z. I'm not sure it'd be easy to get into, but that's great to find Joe here. We've already remarked on his capabilities over the last 24 hours or so. Yesterday, he played well, has done well so far today. Him being offline makes this much more winnable.
Oh, Outlaw. And he goes. No problem to him whatsoever. As the Ash picks up a clean double kill, really, for himself. And now Nitro has a 1v4 to go up against, and he has that single mirror window to go up against, but against the Blackbeard, Des just runs him down. Shouldn't be too much of an issue. However, the Blackbeard, anyone going to try and help him? Switches from one, switches to the other, but the Blackbeard going to be there to push him over, and his teammate will find that kill. So 9Z, Des, you said about the pace. I mean, that's pretty much what Lost went for, was just trying for as much as they can and hope it stuck.
Yeah. It was good pressure from Lost, I think, as well. Like, they knew the key parts to get. Like, the pins they had on towards that garage player, beautiful stuff as well. Really punished 9Z for being in the positions they were in. It was then when they started building up on the other side. And really, if Joe didn't get caught out there, I know what he was looking for, was looking to control that bedroom side, to push away more time if he could. But him getting caught out, for me at least, was the death sign in that round. And look, we could talk all day about the fact that they've had to have a stand in here to come and play with them. At the end of the day, as we've already seen across 2 rounds, there are 4 very capable players here that can see things closed out. And Abradex being on the mirror, look, a mirror is useful regardless of who's going to be stood behind it, intel-wise at the very least. So don't look down on it too much. That was a good round from Lost there. Read the situation well and capitalized perfectly. Now we go over to Gym and Bedroom, and we'll see how 9Z fare on this defense.
I think for Loss, I think it's a recipe that works for them, though, Des. You know, bringing in the faster operators, trying to hit them just as quick as they can, get really early map control, you know, abusing the Blackbeard for all he's worth. You know, you've seen how strong he was, Des, in that scenario. Using the double nades to put pressure on the player below, and then in that final few seconds, just charging down the mirror window. And yeah,
horrible to deal with.
It's stupid, and I'd be surprised if he actually gets to live during our next banning phase, Des. He's going to get axed off straight away.
I would agree with you. As a curious question to you, Demo, what would you do to bring more balance to Blackbeard? Because it's very fair to say he's extremely powerful right now and probably will get nerfed at some point. Do you think the nades got to go? Yeah.
Nades got to go. Yep. Too much. I think we've seen it, you know, used perfectly there in a way where you can break down a castle barricade, you know you're up against the guy, you can just nade safely from behind your shield, make him have to move. Whenever he moves, that's where then the Blackbeard can go for the on ADS, you know. That's what makes him really, really strong, is he's just a one-man wrecking crew. Yeah.
The breach and charges and claymore treatment, I'm sure it's coming. Although obviously breach and charges are very useless too, and given he can smash through walls already, but I feel it's the way that you rein in the power without so much changing the mechanic of the operator.
Yeah, it's like taking down banshees and stuff as well, you can do pretty easily. You know, little kind of bits of equipment like that, zombie barriers, for example.
Well, here we go. Got themselves into Jacuzzi, relatively comfortably there with the Habana, it being opened up. Not by Outlaw, interestingly. I imagine he's gone more towards VIP and the Cash CC breach.
Yeah, he's on the other side, yeah.
Yep, so they should have control here, what they need to, at least opened up already. Whereas you look back to that first half, it was a sticking point for 9Z, where a few times the key breaches weren't opened up. Managed to get rounds over the line regardless. Of course, lost 1 or 2 along the way as well. But for Lost, at least showing that coordination here to make sure the key things are done. They're not skipping over those first few points on the checklist.
And Dallas coming in again, and I do like this adaptation though from 9Z, is bringing in the Warden, you know, expecting Lost to try and play pretty fast with the operators that they have, bring the Ying. That's the way they're going to want to play. Let's then bring the counter, play the Warden. So yeah, the Ying really shouldn't be too much of an issue if he wants to go Logi, because the Warden's going to be in his way. A minute left as no picks have happened for either side as of yet. So the defense, I think they're in a pretty good spot, considering that they still have, you know, smokes to fall back onto as well. You've got a lot of information with the bulletproofs also, which will come in handy. So the pressure's on the attackers there, Des.
Yes, and sure enough, Nitro is the one starting out with an entry. However, the Blackbeard's trying to round in, and they've completely missed him. The Mistro has come on through, and Joe has gone nuclear. Almost gets a third, but Arthur at least starts to try and save this one for his team. 2 kills for himself, looking in towards gold, hoping to find the next, but Tuku elsewhere has got rid of Legacy, and Arthur has got it all to do. Almost gets his man, but he has escaped and gotten out of here. Abradex goes down, a great shot coming through, but Tuku's there for the double dip, gets himself another kill, and 9Z move up to match point.
Wow. I mean, just a simple misthrow. That's all it takes, Des, to really bury that round, and just nice reposition at the end of the day. You know, expecting that they're going to want to try and go Logic and Construction. You almost take the chance, don't you? Because at that stage, it's a 5v5. You've got 40 seconds to go. I think you take that risk. You know, whenever 9Z are up against it, considering they're the team who are playing with the assistant coach in the lineup, Des, you know, it's... At that stage, what do they have to lose? You know, let's say if they did go on and won that game 7-5, 9Z just says, oh, we got unlucky, you know, we couldn't even play over a full team. It is what it is. You know, go and take the chance, go and take the risks.
To be fair, I don't even think if Naza was in Abradex's spot there. If he was going for a swing on that, I think Arthur was always getting that kill, because it was a great kill that he collected to make it into 3 and almost bring it back for his team. But it's that classic problem where one player's gone off pretty big, got a 3K. But elsewhere, your team has just completely crumbled in their push forward there. It's unfortunate, but it's Lost, who have now got 3 rounds to climb if they want to fight their way back in. And they're going into the hardest site on the map. It's going to be down in the basement for what could be our last round of the game.
Basement is where it could be decided upon. In terms of bans, really shocked that the Blackbeard was not banned away. Instead, they have doubled down on the hard breach. They've eliminated the Habana Des. I mean, they probably thought to themselves, guys, this is match point. We know we're going to go basement. Let's just completely mess them up. Let's go for the Habana ban. Let's make it so opening up these hatches is going to be a nightmare for them. They have to then bring in the hard breach gadget operators. You know, they've had to go for the recruit, for example, Des.
Try and make it work with the Sens. I like... But where we saw that success previously was when they did come forward at quite a bit of pace, and I'm hoping we see more of the same, right? With the Sens and the Blitz on side, you can make that happen 100%. Almost kind of worry that not rolling around with, like, say, double shields here could be the play for them as well. Like a Blackbeard being stacked up alongside a Blitz and just looking to play at pace could be one way to make it happen. But maybe be afraid of being stalled out here by the likes of Joe with those Goyo canisters, with having to work your way through Malusis. Frostmat's waiting for you around every turn. It's almost like actually 9Z have read into this and are saying, cool, you want to play that fast gameplay? Well, we've got an answer and we're ready. Ooh, Will.
A crazy dash there from Will. No.
I mean, I think this is one of the places to be as well. You know someone's going to be in this position at this point. Maybe not at this point. Maybe in 30 seconds time. Maybe it was a bit early. Fine.
Again, with the issues of their lineup where they've had to bring in hard breach gadget, Des, they don't have any explosives. They have no nades. Actually, they do have nades. Never mind. They actually have 2, but that's because they've had to sacrifice also the Blackbeard in this scenario. You would like to probably have about 4 nades for this bomb site, because you're going to be dealing with the Goyos, you're going to be dealing with the Malusis, maybe a deployable shield in there as well. You've got the Azami barriers. There's a lot of things you need to remove. And I think with the limitations on them, where they've had to bring in these different operators, that is really going to make Lost just slow down entirely here. So I think their blue control is a necessity. I think they need to be able to take blue here in about 30 seconds, Des. If not, I don't see them getting through the Goyo canisters if they want to try and play traditional over towards, you know, kitchen drop in towards church maybe. The Goyo canister is going to be there. They're going to slow them down.
I mean, the majority of players for a second there were all sat on drones as well. They're trying to figure out exactly what the best hit and what the best option is. They've got these verticals being established. They had early blue control. So they've got choices, but it's about now making them happen. Trying to chew their way through in towards Moto to catch out on the Azami sat on the other side, but for now, 9Z, to quote Tim and to quote yourself, Demo, are largely unbothered. They're just waiting to see what happens. And now, finally, they strike. Legacy has dropped and got himself a kill. Sends Lightwall now in position 2. Of course, can be raised and lowered as required. For now, it being down gives more of an angle towards Legacy to try and find somebody.
Oh, nade misses, and you can look at this angle, though, from Tuku, though. He's waiting for the shield to hop in, but never mind, the shield is going to go for the armory ash wall instead, and try and go for the defuse. This is genius!
Force the bait out towards Moto and then turn the focus elsewhere. Beautiful stuff, and Outlaw's got himself a couple. He's ran straight past someone else, but you know what? You'll forgive Farius for that one. His team are on top here in a 3 versus 1. Tuku got his 2k in the last round.
Oh, no.
Has got to do quite a few here, and now suddenly it's a 1 versus 1. Does he know? Arthur should be able to get him. You don't win a 1v1 against the Blitz. And sure enough, Lost get the round over the line. They win that hard bomb site demo, but we might end up going back there again.
Mm-hmm. Take it from me, you never lose those as Blitz. Never. Well, close, like really, really close again, right down to the wire, but look at the setup, though, from Lost, the way that they played that. Everything that they were doing was screaming, guys, they're going to go for church. That's where they want to try and go into. They want to try and plant via the triple wall. That is what 9Z were focused in on. They never expected, Dez, that they were going to go for the Ash Rush and then straight into Armory and go for the plant. That never even crossed their mind. Didn't cross my mind. I was so surprised whenever they went for it. So,
well, the fact they were trying to nade out. They were trying to nade out that church wall player because that was probably sending the indication they really want this spot. They want to kill us. They want to plant here again. It was really smart, to be fair. Really smart.
Yeah, it does two things. It makes that guy think they're going to push me, and also it just stops them from swinging the hole as that Blitz rushes in. Love it. Good to see. But, Lost, we need two more of that. We need 2 more rounds just like that. Because you're still not out of the woods yet. You're still in there.
Yeah.
You're still in the cabin.
They've only got to make it work once. They've been caught out by surprise there, and it's kind of that classic, you know, fool me once, shame on you, fool me once, fool me twice, shame on me. Yep. Hopefully, 9Z aren't being caught out by the same thing. It's a very similar setup once again, though. Very dug in, a couple of C4s, Smoke and Goyos to lock in behind as well. Now really the attention turned towards the side of Lost and how they can change things up here and do something a little bit different. They've stepped away from the Buck, for example, gone more towards the Ram, more of that floor to be opened up. They're looking in towards the Glass, and Outlaw was the big sideswipe player for them from Blue, I believe it was, in the last round. Eyes will fall to him here and what he can do on this Glass. They've got 4 smokes to play behind to keep your eyes peeled on what he gets up to.
Oh, already using the nade early on, Des, to eliminate the castle barricade whenever... Like I mentioned before, there will be little bits of util you'd like to remove, mostly being the Goyo canisters with the nades. So, I like the fact that they've used the castle barricades early, but did he really need to nade it? I would say probably not.
But he did. And that's the commitment we've now got. 1 short for the round at the very least. Arthur's on his march on forward. He's had a good couple of rounds to give him some credit here, Arthur, as well. Had some big moments that have kept his team in this one as well. Knowing they've got to do it twice more to send us to overtime here and see if they still have a chance of fighting their way through. Because not forgetting, although they can't take all 3 points from this game, 2 points is still pretty massive because as we discussed at the start, this feels like that battle for 6th place taking place here. That this team and of course teams like Black Dragons will also be in the mix. But that fight for 5th and 6th is 100% dependent on this game.
Yeah, you need to beat the teams in and around you, don't you? You know, you need to beat the teams who are in your category, I'd like to say.
Yeah, your tier.
You need to beat those. You need to win those games. You just naturally assume that both these teams would lose to the likes of your FaZe and your Furious, don't you? You just naturally assume that.
Yeah. I mean, really, the benchmark and teams you've got to be beating is teams like Team Liquid and probably Ninjas in Pajamas that will hover around that sort of 5th, 6th spot. ENX, Lost, Black Dragons, 9Z, probably all the teams that you'd see sitting near those bottom 4.
Yeah.
So any points you get from a game like this is massive. And here we go, though. Got their focus here towards Dirt. Now, they know that it's coming because, as you can see, they're slapping away at that castle barricade, and that is very audible. They'll know exactly what's coming. They know that Arthur is once again running around on the shield on that blitz, looking to cause absolute havoc. Has got to be careful about the crossfire that he could run into. And as long as they don't mistime this, as long as they move as a team, they can be in a great spot. This C4 onto bottom main also huge, pivotal for them.
Yeah, I think they probably should have switched the position here. They needed to bring the Warden over here. Because Wardens do nothing in blue. They have no interest in blue. Imagine if that was a Warden in AKs instead of the castle. Yes, Nitro's able to get the trade, but there's the down happened. You know, that guy's still dead. And out goes the C4, which somehow connects onto the planter. A massive C4 there, as we've seen some of them today. But that's probably the biggest one.
Hello? Various can get both!
2 people! There's a guy beside you! There's a guy beside you!
Hello?
Hello? Hello?
Bro! Shut! Hello? Oh my god!
Nah.
What?
Nah.
I'm done.
Nah.
Whatever. Okay. Send it home.
No.
Have a day off.
He's laughing at them!